Hello fun people, I'm Isaac Carlson, and I wanted to answer the question, why did Tyler bully May in Turning Red? Why did he feel so compelled to be annoying and mean? What was the point of making May and her friends miserable? Well, the truth is, while Tyler showed he was clearly flawed, I don't think he's necessarily a bad kid. The more I looked into him, the more layers I found, and I've gotten to a point where I feel really bad for him and actually kind of connect with him. Tyler was such a fascinating character for me to explore because we got to see him embrace the nerdy and weird side of himself after a lot of turmoil. He's so apprehensive to open up, and I really related to him in that respect. While he acted like a bully at times, he was also a struggling middle schooler who just didn't know how to fit in. You see, Tyler's favorite band was none other than Four Town. He read Tween Beat, collected CDs, and in the One True Love music video, we even see that he has a whole shrine to Four Town under his bed, which is very similar to how May hid everything about the panda under her bed. He loved Four Town, but just like May, Tyler felt like he had to hide away his true passions. He refused to share who he truly was, even though he did let out a few elements of his Four Towny life. You see, Aaron Z is Tyler's favorite member of Four Town, and when you look at Tyler's life with that in mind, so much more about him begins to make sense. Tyler's entire look is built off of Aaron Z. He wants to be like his role model, and since Aaron Z is best known as the athlete of the group, Tyler tries to follow in his footsteps and dress like an athlete. That's why Tyler wears the headband and basketball jersey every day to school. Tyler's interest in basketball may even come from Aaron Z. I mean, his entrance on the tour was literally him shooting a basketball. And in the first moments we meet Tyler, he's on a basketball court. Aaron Z also is known as the strongest dancer who often choreographs Four Town's routines, and knowing that makes Tyler's birthday so much more meaningful. When the girls hype him up for the first time at his party, the first thing they have him do in front of everyone is what Aaron Z is known for. Tyler lets loose and starts to dance. But for so long, Tyler's love for Four Town was disguised and hidden away, and in many ways, it tortured him. Tyler feared that he would not be accepted if everyone found out that he loved a boy band. Desperately, Tyler hoped to not become a complete loser, so he navigated his life as a Four Townie in secret. But without the ability to share who he was, he struggled to connect to other kids. I will go on record and say that middle school is one of the most difficult times growing up because of all the weird changes that everyone is going through, seemingly overnight. I feel like a lot of childhood innocence can be squeezed out of people in those years, and I went through it. I remember the moments where I got made fun of for reading a Peter Pan book in 7th grade, and I remember being asked what my favorite Disney movie was and trying to think about which one would sound the manliest to say. But I can absolutely tell you it gets better. There's parts of Turning Red that show Tyler speaking to other students, but most of the time he's by himself. His loneliness is showcased even more clearly when he begs for May to come to his birthday party. Without Panda May present, Tyler was worried that no one would even show up. Before she arrived, the party was having a tough time getting off the ground. While May was releasing her wild side through the guidance, love, and support of her friends and hiding herself from her parents, Tyler had the opposite experience. Tyler was honest and vulnerable with his parents, but had no friend group to fall back on. Tyler's parents wanted him to find friends, and they were willing to do what they could to help him fit in. Tyler's family clearly comes from money, which we see through their massive home, big screen TV, disco ball, and Tyler's face literally printed on his cake. And his parents were totally okay with him using the house and backyard for his party. They just wanted to help him have some fun with kids his age. And that is only further cemented by the fact that Tyler's family was able to afford and completely trusted him to go to the Four Town concert. They knew all about Tyler's Four Town obsession and were happy to support him, but he didn't feel as confident that the other kids would accept him if they knew the truth. For however strongly Tyler's parents hoped to protect him, they couldn't stop his self-loathing for the messy and loud part of himself hidden away, and unfortunately that led him to lash out at people who could have been his friends.
Tyler is an insecure jerkwad.
Without people by Tyler's side to help him accept and navigate his insecurities, he began to feel isolated, especially when he was surrounded by people who were openly passionate about Four Town, like May, Abby, Priya, and Miriam. But instead of putting in effort to befriend them, he made fun of May and her friends as a way to publicly deny that he was interested in the same quote-unquote dorky things as them. It was all just done out of fear. Like, Tyler hung up May's drawings of Devin to mock her, but it also served as a way to to put the attention of the school on someone other than himself. The taunting also was a way to try and bond with other kids, like during dodgeball.
Little mama's girl. No wonder May's such a loser.
Tyler wanted something to say, and focusing on other people's shortcomings was easier than talking about who he was. And the sad thing is that for the most part, he made fun of people for the very things he thought were wrong with himself. Tyler was just desperate to fit in, which is why when kids encouraged him to go against May at his party when she was refusing to give them more rides, he was willing to follow their lead and attack May.
Oh, snap! You're gonna take that, Tyler?
You want your money? Then get your butt down here now!
The irony of the situation is that Tyler bullied the people who would have actually accepted him for who he was, and that came back to bite him. Tyler did try to reach out to May and the girls when he got excited about the panda, but he was painfully rejected because he had been so consistently mean to them. Tyler's greatest fear actually happened not because kids were judging his love of Fort Town, but because of his own terrible behaviors. And then he took the wrong lesson from that experience.
So weird.
Instead of being nicer to May and all of the girls, he continued to believe that mean jokes, name-calling, and mocking them was the only way to get their attention. Tyler went to an even darker place and coerced May into helping him throw an epic party in exchange for not telling her mother about May's panda being out at school. But eventually, Tyler's whole persona came tumbling down. Tyler was right in one way. Once May and the girls saw him at the Fort Town concert fully decked out in Fort Town gear, they absolutely never saw him the same way again. But it wasn't a bad thing. At first he tried to hide and change his voice, but the girls quickly embraced him as one of their own. May, Abby, Priya, and Miriam showed their true character and held no ill will or anger towards him because of the way he treated them. They welcomed him to their sisterhood, and as soon as the concert began, their bond became solidified. Tyler immediately became one of them as the excitement of the experience brought them together. And according to Turning Red's writer, Julia Cho, that is the power of Fort Town.
Their passion for Fort Town brings them together. These girls love Fort Town because they love each other so much.
While Tyler was initially horrified that someone from school saw him at the concert, what he didn't realize was that because he was exposed, he never would have to hide again. People saw him for who he truly was, and they were thrilled. He had finally found his people. So when May needed a face to stand on to almost touch her bear, he was there for her. Now Tyler could karaoke with friends. He had the ability to eat junk food and Chinese food with a fun group of people. Finally, he was able to geek out with others who loved Fort Town just like him. And to commemorate him being the 5th member of the friend group, Tyler even received his very own friendship bracelet. Tyler wasn't a bully because he wanted to be mean to everyone around him. I think he liked to play the snot-nosed jerk because he had so much hatred for himself and his passions. It was easier for him to take on the role as a mean kid instead of allowing himself to potentially be seen as a loser. He suppressed who he was inside in hopes of keeping himself safe, but because he never put himself out there, for so long he was sad and alone until he opened himself up to kids like him. And just by doing that, by showing he was a little Fort Townie at heart, Tyler went from being a boy who was just trying to survive middle school into someone who was thriving and enjoying the fun of childhood. For me, having this community of fun people who all love Disney like I do has been transformative for me. It's because of you that I can feel confident when I share that I'm a Disney fan. And I really hope that through my videos I can show that it's okay to be a Disney fan too, no matter how old you are. If you'd like to support my mission of spreading magic, please consider becoming a member of the channel by pressing the join button here on YouTube. Finally, thanks for watching and have a magical day.